as somebody that's getting more into the NBA now, when we do this Kevin Garnett statue, which is long overdue and needs to be there, I request that a secondary, smaller ceremony occur on the same day, where we have a dual statue of Ricky Rubio and Jonny Flynn in honor of them taking both of them in back-to-back picks instead of Steph Curry.
Yeah, buddy. Cinco Squad is together once again. And TreyDay, how's the suitcase treating you?
They won't let me out the suitcase. I'm still locked. Today's Jamie's lock of the week. Trey's locked in a suitcase. Lock of the week.
Hey, at least we gave you your Ohio State blanket to lay on.
Yeah, you got a little cuddle.
Well, that was
cuddle buddy. Welcome to Cinco Squad. My name is Jonathan Sawyer. With me are my brothers, Mike DeSanto and Grandpa Jay, and TreyDay from the suitcase. Fellas, how's the week going so far in sports? I know Mike and I are exhausted, but
yeah, you guys been all over the map right now. These guys have been hitting up baseball games, basketball games. They right now are the busiest guys in Florida from any media standpoint. And you guys tell me how it's been.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we've been moving around the whole state, going from West Palm Beach now to Tampa, driving over to Clearwater, Dunedin. Went to Yankee Stadium yesterday and really enjoyed the environments in each stadium. That's what one thing TreyDay and I always talk about is that, like, going to these stadiums, I think, is really different. Baseball stadiums are completely different because they have a different vibe, different restaurants, different everything in there. So I think it's a lot different than any other sports arena. Mike, what do you think so far?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it is a lot different just in the sense of how they're structured, how open they are. They're probably the most open arenas, stadiums, whatever you want to call them, in professional sports. And it's been fun. I mean, I've talked about before, this is my first time really seeing a lot of these different towns, these little different areas of Florida. Obviously, I've been to Tampa, been to Miami, but these areas I haven't been to. So that's been really fun. And it's been really cool to catch baseball that's not so pressured. It's not the regular season where everybody's worried about, like, where they are in the standings and how they're hitting or how they're pitching and things like that. Everybody's having fun.
Well, I know the pressure. The only pressure that we've had is the fucking traffic. I mean, I can tell you, I miss Tampa, but I do not miss being on I-4 or anything like that. But yeah, it's been a great time. Got to cover USF last night, which was great. But you know what's always great is what's on Mike's mind. So let's throw it over to Mikey. Mike, first time in person. Mike, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so this week, of course, spring training tour. Got to bring you a baseball fact on Mike's mind. And this is another little story that, shout out to Uncle Chris, he sent over to me. In 1994, in a game between Cleveland and the White Sox, Chicago called for an investigation into Albert Bell, for those that you remember, using a corked bat. The umpires took the bat and placed it in their locker room for further examination. Cleveland, knowing the bat was in fact corked, sent pitcher Jason Grimsley to get the bat back. Grimsley climbed through the ceiling with a flashlight in his mouth and swapped the bat for a normal one. However, a custodian noticed parts of the ceiling knocked out on the floor and the roof dented. The league got involved and threatened to call in the FBI, requesting the original bat be returned. The bat was handed over, and Bell was then suspended for 10 games, which he eventually appealed and got it knocked down to 7.
That's nuts.
So he had it.
He had a corked bat.
He had a corked bat, but then he didn't have a corked bat.
Yeah, so he had a corked bat that Chicago called him out on. They took the bat. Cleveland sent a relief pitcher through the ceiling to get the bat back. He successfully got the bat back, but got caught in the evidence after it was done.
In the ceiling.
No, he didn't get caught in the
evidence.
What you doing out there, motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly. He made it.
You got nothing.
Well, I actually remembered it. That was one of my first baseball memories, actually, as a Cleveland Indians at the time fan, because that was one of my favorite players, actually, as a kid. So I remember that.
And really, the main piece of evidence that got them caught was not the ceiling stuff. It was the fact that the bat that Jason Grimsley took was Paul Sorrento's, not Albert Bell's. It had his name on it. because they couldn't take Albert Bell's bat because all of Bell's bats were corked. They literally had nothing to use of his, so they used Paul Sorrento's bat, got caught, he got suspended. And then they had a strike, so the season ended anyway in August.
Congratulations to the USF Bulls on the American Conference regular season champs. They go in as number 1 seed at the American Conference tournament next week in Dallas. And I agree with Coach Raheem, what he said in the postgame conference. Have some respect for the American Conference. They have a great teams in there. Memphis, Tulane is a solid team. Even though they're 13-16 now, they're a tough team, and they could be a tough out in the American Conference tournament. You're looking at FAU. You're looking at teams like Charlotte, Rice. Any of those teams can really compete. And in college basketball today, it is completely different than college football. College football, there is a few conferences, the SEC, the Big Ten, ACC, if you want to put it there. But in college basketball, it's completely different because of the transfer portal and guys moving all around the country, going to these mid-level schools and competing hard. These mid-major schools are going to compete in the NCAA tournament. USF is going to have a great NCAA tournament. So put some respect on the American Conference, and good luck to the USF Bulls.
All right, boys and girls, welcome back to your locks of the week here. And last week, what a disappointment. The Indiana Pacers, what were you thinking? We were literally 8 points away from hitting a 5-team parlay. They just come up. They decide not to show up, in fact, in the third quarter. 16 points in the quarter. I mean, an average quarter for the Pacers is like 28. All you needed was 24 points. Thanks a lot. Well done, guys. Anyway, I'm going to hit you guys with 2, not 1, but 2 big 3-team parlays. 1 in the NBA, 1 in the NCAAs, and that's this weekend on Saturday, and let's roll straight into it. So, NCAA parlay, I'm going with Bama over the Hogs. Alabama hosting Arkansas. Bama got embarrassed by Florida this week. They need to show the committee that they can finish off the season strong and not put it down the stretch. They're definitely going to handle their business. I love Alabama to win that game on the money line. Then, these 2 teams have been covering the spread on the road, and it's going to happen again this weekend. Creighton at Villanova. I'm going to take them to cover that spread. USF at Tulsa. USF has been a really good road team. I know John loves them. They've been good on the road. They've been great at home, but they've been covering. So, Bama at home on the money line. Creighton over Villanova. They'll cover that spread. And USF to cover at Tulsa. There's your big 3 in college basketball. Clump them together. 3-team parlay. Win yourself some money. But the NBA, this is what I really love here. Clippers traveling to Chicago. Love them on the road. Here's why. They have 15-5 against the East this year. Only 2 teams they've lost to so far since the January 1st, since in 2024, the Cavs and the Bucks. The Bulls ain't the Cavs or the Bucks. So take the Clippers over the Bulls. Then Warriors hosting the Spurs. Love the Warriors. Love the money line. They have a 5-game win streak against the Spurs. They're going to make that 6 this weekend. And then the nightcap, we got the Nuggets over the Jazz. The Jazz have lost their last 3 games in Denver. You know it's going to be 4. Denver hasn't really looked themselves as of late. They kind of struggled against Phoenix, but they pulled off the dub. They're going to definitely just take care of ends there. The Jazz aren't going to look like they can compete for the entire game. So what do we got here? College basketball. Bama on the money line. Creighton to cover. USF to cover. Clump them together. 3-team parlay. Pro. Let's go with the NBA here. We got the Clippers on the money line. They'll be going to Chicago. We got the Warriors hosting the Spurs. Take them on the money line. And the Nuggets at home against the Jazz. Take them on the money line. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win yourself some money. And we call that a locks of the week.
I know y'all missed the big man in the NBA like I did too. I'm so glad to see the big man has finally returned. It's about time. First off, we got him beating Jokic, and that's been a good battle the last few years. I do wish Embiid would actually show up one of these times in Denver and actually play him. But that's a whole different point here. But I'm really loving from the rookies right now. CHET and Wemby, this has been just such a fun battle. These two very much do have respect for each other. But at the same time, you can tell these two still got a little bit of, I don't fuck with you like that. And that's something a lot of us say we missed it all with NBA, so that's been good to see. I'm talking about Sengun out here on the Rockets. He's been doing his thing and doing a big come-up. When I look at the T-Wolves, I'm watching them put a 2-big lineup out there, and they've been playing real good. I'm watching the Cavs go out there with a 2-big lineup. And I've been seeing other teams do it too. So it's been fun just to watch the NBA return to the big man again. See, historically, we can go back to the times of Hakeem or Shaq or Bill Russell or to Kareem. And we can look at our will and we can look at the times and say the NBA is built on big men. I'm glad that we're starting to get back to that. Not too long ago, the All-Star game, we had to switch it to the forwards and centers being combined because we didn't have enough centers. When we're sitting there and we're looking at Dwight Howard as the only real center in the All-Star game, that didn't make sense to me. So I'm just glad to see these big guys have gotten skilled. They've caught up. Small ball is still here. But at the same time, these big guys are playing small ball, and that's why the return to big is huge.
Rookie of the Year is always a topic of conversation in the NBA, but there's always a little bit of an asterisk about it because a lot of times guys are either the second year or third year even sometimes it comes down to because it's their first full season. So the question is, if you miss your first season in the NBA, should you still qualify? Should you still be able to be qualified for the Rookie of the Year award in your second season? TreyDay?
Absolutely not. And this is what I'm going to say. I really like CHET. I love what he's doing. To be honest, I might have still voted for Wemby for Rookie of the Year anyways. But the reason you shouldn't be is because you are still a pro. You get to travel with the team. You get to watch film with the team. You're getting professional trainers, nutritionists, these type of things. That's a lot what makes a pro different than what makes a collegiate athlete. You are getting that experience. Even if you aren't physically in the game, you still were there. So when I look back, I remember a few years when Julius Randle was a rookie. He played 14 minutes and then breaks his leg in his rookie season. So that made him ineligible. So because he played 14 minutes and CHET played 0, is it really that much of a difference? No, because Julius still got to travel with the Lakers, have team doctors. And we didn't look and say, well, Julius Randle should be eligible next year. So in this case, no, CHET shouldn't be eligible to be Rookie of the Year. And there's no shade to CHET. As a quick side note to that, as much as some people, and I've seen this come up where some people are saying, look at the record and saying, well, that has to matter. To me, Rookie of the Year is one of the few things where I throw out a team record because in most cases, you don't end up in CHET situation where CHET gets to a team that's already loaded, that already is stacked. Usually, if you're going to be in a Rookie of the Year conversation, you're probably on a bad team, something similar to Wemby. Part of the reason the Thunder are stacked is because CHET was out, so now you have second-year CHET playing instead of first-year CHET. If we were to swap those two in franchises, are you telling me you don't think that the Thunder would still be good? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the Thunder were already looking good when he was already hurt. So, in my opinion, like, I agree with you in that sense. And I agree with you on the second. I've always hated that a player is eligible in your second season. And, like, I believe Joel Embiid, I think, missed his first 3 seasons and was still eligible in his third season for Rookie of the Year, which is bullshit in my mind because, yeah, you get hurt, but okay, your years still add up, right? That's still another. You don't go to year 2, and you're in year 2, right? Sorry, like you don't get Rookie of the Year. You don't get those honors. And that's just in sports in general. I think they do it in other sports as well, but most of the time they always give it to the actual rookies, right? But in the NBA, I've always heard about like, oh, these guys should get it over this. It's like, no, you're not a rookie anymore. You've been getting an NBA contract. You've been getting paid. Now, if you went the whole season without getting paid, okay, I'll hear you on that one. You went to the G League, okay, I'll see that. But if you've been sitting there cashing those checks, riding with the team, like you said, they should definitely not be considered in a rookie. Great sensation, CHET. I don't want to take anything away from CHET, so because I'm glad that he's healthy and he's playing good basketball. But I also don't want to sit here and say he's Rookie of the Year because Wembanyama is playing absolutely out of his mind right now, and that's bullshit. That he's got to come second. So should he be second next year? So should he get another shot next year? So I don't know. I think that's a little ridiculous. So I'm in agreement with you on that one, Trey. Grandpa Jay?
Absolutely. I'm not agreeing with you guys because I'll ask you guys these questions right here. Are they judging Rookie of the Year based off how well you look at film or how much you adapt to having an NBA trainer? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, no. Look, Gonzaga 100%. And some of the top programs in the country.
Quick question.
Hold on. His coaching may have been better at Gonzaga. Who's to say that the trainers aren't just as good? Like, it's not like you're getting that much better off the court yet. Of course, we say the best of the best might be in the NBA, but you don't know that. OKC's franchise is one of those franchises where you said they're not a big market franchise. Who's to say that they have all the best doctors and the best this and the best for that? But I don't know if that's relevant or not. What I do know is Rookie of the Year is based on how you perform in games. And if you don't get an opportunity to play a rookie season, I think it's bullshit that Julius Randle didn't get to have that rookie year over again because it should be eligible within playing your first game. If you go down your first game, then it doesn't count. I think you have to change that rule. But 100%, it's when you take the floor for the first time that is your first year in the NBA because you have no years under your belt as an NBA player because you sat down on the sidelines doesn't validate that you had a rookie year in the NBA. You observed everybody else playing. That doesn't really elevate your game.
But you're still getting paid by the team. But you're still getting paid by the team.
Are you not being coached by?
You're utilizing their trainers. You're utilizing in the bio.
Are you not being coached by a professional coach?
Yeah, but it makes you a pro. But you get to have your rookie season.
But that doesn't.
You're still being coached
the rookie
by a
season was
professional
taken
coach.
down, and I'm not taking anything away from that. But I'm saying that you
guys are looking at rookie as your first year in the league. To me, rookie says what it is. Rookie is the first time you're playing in the NBA.
I don't agree with that because you don't get that in.
Okay, hold on. So Luka wasn't a rookie when he came in, but he had 3 years of pro ball. He was getting paid for. Why was he eligible?
Because he had been in the NBA.
NBA,
but he got. I mean, he had better. He had
not in another league.
Had prior to coming to
That's
the
a
but
whole
not in another
league.
league.
He wasn't on the
another
NBA
league.
roster.
He was playing for another league. Like
Mike,
just like one me out.
Mike, what do you think?
Okay, so that means should he have an extra year of service that he owes the Thunder? Because usually you get 4 years and then you're a free agent. So what you just said is he shouldn't be free agent until after year 5 because we're not counting the first
year. Then. Yeah, I don't care if they change that.
So did that mean? Did I get to John's point? Should he not collect the paycheck in that case? And then I guess I would also ask you this: last week you had a birthday, right, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
How old did you turn?
Hold on,
how did you turn last week?
Trey, you're freezing bad, bro.
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
Yeah, you're delayed.
Yeah, you're delayed.
Yeah,
I know you're not delayed on your side.
Ask me the question again.
Okay, so Jay, you had a birthday last week. How old did you turn?
Not 82, but 42.
Okay, so if you hypothetically, and this sounds extreme, went into a coma for a year, and your birthday comes around next year, are you 43 or are you still 42? Because you didn't live that year. You just were in the bed.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered the year, so I'm definitely turning 42, not 43.
But your birth certificate is going to say that. Your ID is going to say that. Everything about your life is going to read.
You guys are going off hard stats, and I get it. That's your argument. My argument is based on the fact that when you first step on the floor, that is when your rookie year begins. Mike, you agree with me?
I absolutely agree with you, Grandpa Jay.
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
Trey, I'm going in the suitcase. Come on, let me in.
It's not Rookie of the Year is not an award given for guys that are on the roster but don't play. It's about when you play.
But that doesn't make any sense. Because if you are on the roster, you're technically on the roster. You are a rookie, but your rookie season. So if the shittiest guy on the bench, okay, so we have a bench player that's number 14 on the bench. He doesn't get into the game for the first time until his 4th season. Is that his rookie year? He's sitting on the bench. That's basically what you're saying.
No, because there's a difference.
No, there's not. There's not.
Hold on. Let me explain. Is that number 14 eligible to play in that game?
Yes.
Is the injured player eligible to play in their games?
Yeah, technically he is.
Absolutely not.
They can't. If they're listed as hurt, if they're on the injury report, they are not allowed to play. That's the difference here. The difference is they can't play. How can you be eligible to win an award when you're not eligible to play in a game? That
doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense because you're on the roster. You got hurt. And I'm not putting a blame on you being hurt, right? Like I'm not saying like he made himself get hurt because he wanted to wait a year, right? I'm saying I'm sorry that he got hurt, but this is life. You got to keep pushing. Like go. Like in college basketball, if you miss your rookie season because of it, you don't get freshman of the year being a redshirt freshman. You don't. You do not get that award. They give it to strictly freshmen only. Right. And that's exactly what you're saying.
No, because there's a difference.
There's not a difference.
There's a difference between being a freshman and a rookie. Because if you're a freshman...
No, but you just said redshirt.
It's the same thing. Going to school.
A freshman is a rookie.
But as a redshirt, he wasn't
in the NBA.
Not collegiately.
Oh my God! I'm not talking about. I'm saying you're freshman in the college basketball and a rookie in college in NBA is the same thing. Right. Your first year. Okay. It's your first year in college basketball. NBA.
No, because
you said eligible. If you're redshirt, that means you're not eligible to play. So wouldn't that still be the same parallel?
No, because it's a whole different term. They literally put the term redshirt on your year.
But you don't. But you don't get the freshman of the year award.
Right. But what I'm saying is this.
But if you so Mike, if you are a redshirt freshman, does that mean you now have to stay for 4 years? If we were playing college football, because you have to stay for 3. But you just told me the redshirt year means absolutely nothing. I see dudes get redshirt and still leave in a redshirt sophomore year. That means you stop being elite to your redshirt junior year, because the 1 year absolutely does not count because they made a stipulation based on what you just said.
Right, but there's still a difference there, because as a collegiate athlete, you can leave the school whenever you want. If you're
in the NBA, you can leave.
you can't play. You're still in a contract.
But you can leave whenever you want. Like
you're under contract, you're getting paid.
But you should still get paid and leave, right? Like
no, because you're under contract. If you're away from the team, if you breach your contract, you can't get paid.
Basically, what you're saying, if you're not on the floor, you now you're making it really technical, because you went from
it is technical.
No, it's not. You went from technical. You said if you do not play in your first year, you went if you do not play in your first year, you do not step on the floor.
In professional sports, yes.
In professional sports, but then you went, oh, well, he's not eligible to play. Well, no, you didn't say that. You said if he's not stepping on the floor, regardless if you're eligible or not, if you don't step on the floor, that guy's eligible, number 14, but he never gets in the game. So in year 4, when he finally gets out there, yeah, should he be able? Yeah, then in your term, you and Jamie's term, then they should be counted for Rookie of the Year. That's what you guys are saying. And that's basically what you're saying. There's no technicality. No, it's that or that.
The question posed, correct, is if you get hurt in your first year and can't play your first year because you got hurt, should you be
No, I said if you miss your first season, whether that's injury, whether that's just sitting on the bench. It's if you miss your first season.
Okay.
Not if you get hurt.
I have a question for you, Mike and Jamie. With that being said, what would be the requirement of how many games should you be able to play before you're not considered a rookie then, I guess? Because the Julius Randle situation was 14 minutes. If Julius Randle played 3 games and then got hurt, would we then say he was not a rookie at that point? Like, where's the cutoff here?
I would be fine at drawing the line that you didn't play at all during the season.
But 14 minutes.
So Julius Randle, because he...
Correct.
Because so Julius Randle
doesn't count.
So Julius Randle wouldn't count.
I would be fine with drawing that line if you're gonna do this, you have to put certain stipulations and rules to it, obviously, because then you run.
So you're saying 1 game. That's it. They have to play 1 game.
Well, you're saying 1 second. Well, you're saying 1 second.
Well, he goes off for a triple-double in his first game, and then that's the stat line. And then they get hurt. They're gonna get the award.
You have appeared. You have been appeared in a game you were eligible.
Okay, so I have one other quick thing to point out to NBA. But where this is, there's one other thing where there's hypocrisy in the NBA. The NBA, remember, is now requiring you to play a certain amount of games to be eligible for MVP, All NBA, and stuff like that. So why is a rookie? Do you have the same type of stipulation in?
I'd be fine with it having the same stipulation, but you'd have to draw a line. I'm saying in my mind, I'd be okay. I'd be fine with drawing the line at if you appeared in your rookie season, you're a rookie.
And that is that. Mikey and I agree on one point. You and John agree on another. Obviously, we can't come to terms there. So, John, what do we need the fans? What do we need the people to go online and do? You guys need to settle this because we can't right now. All right. So if you guys haven't seen these latest trends that have been going around on social media, I'm going to clue you in. So there are these trends that say, would you take $1 million or would you risk it and try and do this for $10 million instead? Well, here's the one where everybody better take the $1 million. So the stakes are, would you take $1 million or would you give up that $1 million to try and win $10 million if you get 2 rebounds in an NBA game over 48 minutes? Now, here's the thing. You're not lasting 48 minutes. Number one. Number two, you ain't getting a rebound in an NBA game. Now, maybe if you played college basketball at a pretty elite level, yeah, you might have a chance. Just because you have size, it doesn't mean you're getting a rebound either. Your ass gonna get boxed out. You're gonna be 350 pounds. You ain't moving around the court. You're not doing anything. There is no skill set that you have unless you grew up playing basketball at an elite level that makes you think you're gonna get 2 rebounds in an NBA game. So when you're looking at your phone and you're scrolling through it and you see that and you contemplate whether you won't take the $1 million or not because you actually think you can get 2 rebounds in an NBA game, stop being a joker smoker, man. Take the $1 million, go home to your wife, your girlfriend, the kids, or whoever else, and change your damn life. Because there's no way in hell you're getting 2 rebounds in an NBA game.
NFL free agency is out there, and there has been a lot of releasing, so there's a lot more free agents out there right now. Brings up a great topic for us that if you had to pick a free agent and where they should go, who is it and where should they go? Mike, what do you got?
So I have an interesting one. We're looking at the first real free agency of King Henry. So I'm going to go with Derrick Henry. Yes, crown the king and potentially crown the new kings of the AFC, because I want to see, personally, Derrick Henry go to the Houston Texans.
Go back home.
Go back home.
Wait, no, he's from Jacksonville. Never mind. I'm about to say,
Derrick Henry's from Florida, yeah.
I'm about to say he's from Jacksonville. He should go there.
But I want to see Derrick Henry go down to the Houston Texans. I think he fits well at this point in his career with what they can do, because he doesn't have to be the workhorse that he was in Tennessee, because we all just saw that CJ Stroud is a franchise quarterback and can lead this team to success already. You give him a beast of a running back who may not be the exact same he was in his prime, but man, we still saw him being able to bowl guys over and overpower people. And if Houston's offense, I mean, they obviously have a lot of great weapons at wide receiver, and Singletary, not a bad back, but I think if
he's a
great two back as a speed back.
Yeah.
If you add a the power back in the NFL, Derrick Henry, power.
Okay.
Just make sure everybody hears that. The power back in the NFL in Derrick Henry to that offense, god damn, that's scary.
Well, I don't know why people keep saying like, oh, he's washed up.
I don't even watch.
I mean, the dude's pulling like over 500 pounds up a hill at full speed, and I mean, he's still running. So I don't running at a hard pace, and he's taking guys out. I mean, people say that because of Tennessee, and Tennessee look bad. Like, what do you want him to do? He's got to have a good season. That would be if he signs with Houston. I mean, oh my God, that team has just got exponentially better, and then defensively they're continuing to get better. Grandpa Jay, who you got?
Well, Mike, you kind of stole a little bit of thunder there, because I was actually going to go with Tony Pollard to stick it to Jerry Jones and the Cowboys and say, let me hop over to Houston and help them win a Super Bowl.
So real city of Texas.
Just to stick it to you, Jerry. I don't need Dallas. I'm going to H-Town. So, but I'm actually going as an interior offensive lineman in Kevin Dotson with the Rams. They're not going to afford to keep him. He was integral in helping to protect Stafford this year. I know you guys might disagree with me here, but I actually want to see if Aaron Rodgers can do something in what's probably going to be his last year. Kind of like that Brett Favre year. You're going to have that miracle, maybe end on that winning note. Can you get the Jets at least to the AFC title game? So I'd love to see that offensive line bulked up a bit, especially with Breece Hall. You give him more people to block, he's going to make the game easier for Rodgers. The Jets, if they have any semblance of a good offense with that defense, they'll compete with anybody in the AFC. So for me, I'm kind of going on that route that let's bulk up the line. Let's keep Rodgers upright all season long. Let's get Dotson out there and get him paid. If the Jets have enough money to do that, I know the Rams won't be able to keep him, but that's why I'd love to see that move happen, because, hey, let's see Double-A do it one more time. And obviously I don't want it to win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the Jets, and I mean, they have such a talented roster that I think it's unfair to not see them compete in games. Yeah. So, like, to see like Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, have mediocre seasons. It's not fair to that team, and they need to get an offensive line. Like their offensive line is atrocious. But my one guy, and I think it's probably one of the top guys already went on the receiving corps, is T. Higgins. I'm looking at a few different teams. I'm looking at Miami as one of the options. I think they just need another threat. I think, Tyreek Hill needs kind of like that secondary. I know Jalen Waddle was kind of banged up this year, but it's always good to have that third guy, and having a T. Higgins as your third guy, I mean, that's electric. But where I can see T. Higgins signing is Baltimore. I think Baltimore needs that younger receiver. I think OBJ was just a replacement for a year, but I think Zay Flowers is going to have a breakout season next year that I think if he goes to Baltimore, it's going to ignite that team, and maybe Baltimore will stick to their offense when they get into big games, because that is what lost them the AFC Championship, guys. Yep. So I think they need that. I think that would be amazing for Zay Flowers' career, amazing for Lamar's career, and amazing for the Baltimore Ravens. even though I would like to see him on the Eagles. So, TreyDay, what do you got?
Honestly, I don't think that'll happen because the Bengals did franchise Higgins. So the last thing they're going to do is let him go to Baltimore if they decide they're going to ship him off for this franchise tag. It's to send him in division. I just can't see that happening.
Yeah.
It would be good for the Ravens. When they franchised him, I'm pretty sure Eileen he's going to go back to the Bengals because they just bought himself that extra year to probably bring him back. Is where I'm leaning.
Wait, so T. Higgins not a free agent anymore?
No, they franchised.
No, he was franchised.
When did that happen? I didn't see that.
Y'all probably at a baseball game one of these days.
Oh, okay. Let me redo mine then.
Yeah, y'all probably.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that. So
I was like, I'm pretty sure he franchised. I was googling when we were sitting there. I'm like, verify before I cut.
Who's another free agent?
Eckler.
Also, Eckler's not a free agent.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a free agent.
Okay.
Yeah, they couldn't tag him.
All right, let me just go off that again. All right. Shit. I had a whole thing. I had a whole fucking thing lined up.
Go ahead and think about it. That's right.
Well, one player that I gotta say that I'm looking at in the running game, Mike, you were saying Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. The other is Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon Barkley is not franchise tagged this year, and I think he can make a team real good. I'm not trying to beat you up on your Giants, but you guys have not utilized Saquon to his full ability. You guys get in the red zone and you pull him off the field. I never understand why the best player is sitting on the sidelines inside the 20. But when I'm looking at Saquon, he needs a team that is going to rely on him. And the team that's going to be that is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. He's going to come home and come to Philadelphia and come back to Pennsylvania. That's where I see him signing. They're clearing cap space right now in Philadelphia. Releasing Avonte Maddox, restructuring deals, obviously Jason Kelce retiring here. But I see him going to Philadelphia. There's been rumors about it for years about them making trade, just the trade wasn't there. So I'm saying come home, Saquon Barkley to Philadelphia, and let's get a Super Bowl under your belt.
Please, dear God, no.
TreyDay, what do you got for us?
So I'm not going to do it to Mike, but yeah, I did say Saquon to the Texans. That was my first game plan. It is what it is. It's time for
so Houston's got Saquon and Derek?
Oh, God.
Yeah, take both.
So CJ's just going to be like sitting back there in a lawn chair, just like, here you go.
CJ Stroud averaging 10 passes a game.
For 207 yards because they're all going to be
right, just those screen passes. It does those screen passes all day.
Yeah, really.
But, I guess a little bit, the Chiefs, they need some help. It was a struggle to get Michael Jordan Mahomes another championship. So you know what's going to happen here is I would take – so Snead's going to be probably going, right? Got to replace a corner. Let's go get a veteran corner. Let's plug in Stefon Gilmore. He probably comes out there, doesn't cost as much because he's already been paid a shit ton. You have McDuffie, and then you put him opposite of that. And we always tend to do that where you have like a Super Bowl contender and they like sign a veteran corner for like a year. Who he can come out there, he can be a veteran. I think that would be a perfect fit. Gilmore a couple years ago even told a story about how Mahomes tried to recruit him, but he ended up going to the coach. So this has actually almost happened once before. And I haven't really seen that name out there, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs find a way to replace Snead for significantly less and go pay Gilmore a little bit on a one-year deal. Gilmore can go out there, maybe get a ring, play opposite McDuffie. The Chiefs already have a hell of a defense. I could see that actually happening.
Well, the benefit for the Chiefs is that their corners took a step up this year, right? McDuffie took a big leap. The other safety took a big leap this year. So losing a safety and corner isn't as bad as we thought maybe at the beginning of the season, but that would be a hell of a sign.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Kobe Bryant statue just went up in front of the Crypto.com arena here. We still call it Staples. It's Staples.
No,
Center.
it's the Staples Center.
But
100%.
That brings up a good topic. What player or athlete deserves a statue that hasn't gotten one yet? Grandpa Jay?
He's coming straight to me.
I'm going straight to you.
Well, you guys have watched this show before. You guys know there's a certain individual that I am very enamored by. And I said one time on the show, even if he didn't play basketball, he should get into the Hall of Fame because of his broadcasting skills. And that is my guy from the Pacific West, Mr. Bill Walton. Yes, sir, Bill Walton. Probably the second best Bruin of all time behind Lou Alcindor. This guy was phenomenal. hardly lost it all in his college career, comes over and is the reason why the Portland Trail Blazers won their first NBA championship. So what am I doing? I'm telling Portland, forget the normal statues. You're going to get somebody to get a red oak, and you're going to carve out a piece of that, and you're going to make a wooden, very beautifully carved version of Bill Walton, like he's on a hike looking over the Pacific Mountains out front of what he always speaks about, which is the beautiful nature and outdoors that really fills his soul up. So I'm saying let's get Bill Walton a statue in Portland in front of the arena, not made of your normal material, but we want a wooden statue, right? Because Portland's known for their timber. And Bill's just standing up there, all 7 foot of him now hunched over. It might be 6'9", but hey, let's build it 7 feet anyway and give my man the due that he's deserved for making Portland an NBA champion and being a absolute beast on the basketball court. And people don't know how good this guy was.
Wow, I did not see that. I'm not gonna lie, I did not see that.
That was not where I thought.
So I did. So who you want to go next?
You.
All right. So mine is going to be my quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, but not going for the Philadelphia Eagles. It needs to go up at Syracuse University. Donovan McNabb needs that statue. He got his number retired, but didn't really get his number retired because they still wear 5. More like an honor in the rafters. But he deserves to have it. So Syracuse football, I think, this year or next should put Donovan's statue up there because I think he catapulted the Syracuse program in the late 90s with Dwight Freeney, with Marvin Harrison, even though they were a little bit older than him. So Donovan McNabb deserves that. I also think he deserves it in Philadelphia because he ignited that franchise. Everywhere he went, he ignited the franchise in school. So he deserves that statue out in front of Syracuse, and I hope to go – if it is this year, I hope to be able to go to that game and honor that because I was at the Ernie Davis statue unveil, and I would love to see Donovan get his rightful due. And he almost got Michael Vick committed there, but Michael Vick didn't want to leave Virginia. So Donovan McNabb deserves that statue out in front of Syracuse and Philadelphia. Make it happen, Eagles and Orange. Let's go. Mikey, what you got?
So I got to take this to essentially what was my first favorite hockey player growing up before the Henrik Lundqvist, even though I will say Henrik Lundqvist does deserve one, I think. But I'm going to go with put this statue outside of Madison Square Garden as people walk in. Give me Brian Leach, defenseman
Captain
for the New York Rangers, former captain, 2-time Norris Trophy winner, Calder Trophy winner as Rookie of the Year. He was the Conn Smythe winner when they won the Stanley Cup in 1994. An integral part of not only the team's success throughout the 90s and early 2000s on the ice, but also off the ice. He's well known as a great ambassador of the game of hockey, especially in the New York area, working with a lot of charities. Garden of Dreams Foundation. He makes a lot of appearances. He's been a very big part of the organization, both after he got drafted and after he retired. So I would love to see one of my childhood hockey heroes in Brian Leach get his rightful due with a statue outside the Garden.
You know what's funny is that there's not a lot of hockey statues.
There really aren't.
There's Wayne Gretzky, of course. I don't even think he's out. Is he out in front of LA?
Yeah, he's out front. He's somewhere around the Staples Center.
He's like one of the 35 statues.
One of the
60 statues they have out in the front of the Staples Center. Yeah, really.
I think Edmonton might have one.
But like NHL does not do a lot of statues because I mean, like Nick Lidstrom, Stevie Y deserves one out in front of Little Caesars, but I feel like they don't build their stadiums big enough on the sidewalks to be able to put one.
No, yeah, like
because like where would you put it? Like it's literally on the street. I mean, I haven't been to the Joe or Little Caesars. I know Trey has been by there, and been to those arenas. So I mean, is there room to even put a statue at some of these stadiums?
I mean, the Penguins should have one at Mario Lemieux. And then
they do.
Little Caesars kind of.
They do.
And then the Capitals should definitely, when Ovi's finally done, that's going to go up.
Inside.
If they had to, they could in front of Little Caesars. Just kind of weird the way it's set up, being downtown. I mean, same thing with Joe Louis. Whereas, like, when the Pistons were in Auburn Hills, they were in the middle of, like, nowhere. Mm-hmm. And same thing back when the Lions played in the Silver Dome, they were in the middle of nowhere. But now, like, they could figure it out if they had to logistically.
They could make it like a section, like across the street, maybe if they wanted to, or something.
Have it like a collage,
or even in the arena, like as you walk in.
Yeah,
some people do it in the arena.
Yeah.
The Jordan statue used to be in the arena before it went outside at one point.
All right, TreyDay, take it away for yours. I haven't.
Okay,
I know who to. Can I guess?
You mentioned you had 2 great ones, so I'm interested in both, not just one.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your guess?
It's Allen Iverson.
He said Allen Iverson.
No, Allen Iverson was first because Iverson is getting a statue in April.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, April.
Yeah, that's what made me spark this question was because of him getting.
Oh, that's awesome. That's well deserved. I always thought that.
Yeah,
I was like,
it would have been.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, so I must.
And that's what made me say it because I was like, about damn time. So that would have been my answer if we did this topic literally 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Wade's getting one too in Miami, so like those two both got announced recently. Which is what made me say. Are you going to say
Tim Duncan? Your favorite NBA player of all time?
Tim Duncan was going to be one, and that is, yes. So, which is why I thought Jamie would go there because I said, okay, well, of course he's going to take the Island guy. So, 2 people that I do think, especially NBA, that don't have a statue. Like I said, Iverson's getting one already. Wade's getting one. Would have been Duncan, partly because, I mean, he was the best guy, or one of the best guys of his generation. I mean, you know, one of the best guys in NBA history. He's a 5-time NBA champ, 2-time MVP, 15-time All-NBA, and voted top 75. I mean, it's unanimous. What are the Spurs doing? I know it's not the Spurs' way, but you have to get a Tim Duncan statue out there immediately. Like, it's only right for them to get a statue up there. I mean, at this point, everybody's jumping up and talking about Wemby, and that's great, but we can't forget about the greatness of Tim Duncan while we're so busy looking to the future of Wemby. Other person who I think has to get a statue is Minnesota. What are you doing? We don't even remember the Timberwolves damn near exist. Why is Kevin Garnett not have a statue outside? It makes zero sense for not to have a statue outside. I could argue with you that the Minnesota Timberwolves would not be in Minnesota if it was not for Kevin Garnett. Let's do quick facts here. 1993, the Minnesota, they lose their hockey franchise and they go off to Dallas. The Stars were in Minnesota. They moved to Dallas because it wasn't working out there in Minnesota. 1994 comes. Minnesota is now bankrupt. They are thinking about moving to Timberwolves. They start going all the way to possibly moving them to New Orleans. They go a whole bunch of injunctions, a whole bunch of court fights, and they're able to save the team. What happens in 95? Kevin Garnett shows up. We have not talked about moving that team since because Kevin Garnett is why we care about the Minnesota Timberwolves. I know they're good now, but that franchise literally probably would have been moved at some point in the mid to late 90s. If it wasn't for them. And remember, we got the Raptors came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
We had franchises coming in the 90s. One of them would have went from Minnesota. Kevin Garnett saved that franchise. Get him a statue outside.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a time. I think there's a time limit though. Like it seems like there's always a time limit. It almost seems like they have to. They, for some reason, they wait. Like the Hall of Fame, like they wait. They're like, okay, it's been long enough. I mean, AI's is way overdue, right? Like way.
But you know, it's up and down because remember, Jordan got his after the first retirement. So Jordan was actually playing while he had a statue outside.
With a statue up front.
Yeah, with a statue outside.
You know how much swagger you gotta have just to be like, all right.
Yeah, he's walking past his statue.
Like you talking shit to him, he's dribbling, right? And he's like, man, you trash, man, I got a statue already. What the fuck you mean? I'm still playing. Bang. All right.
Yeah, remember, he only retired for a couple years. So they got that statue up there very quickly after the first Jordan retirement.
I have a formal request.
What?
As somebody that's getting more into the NBA now, when we do this Kevin Garnett statue, which is long overdue and needs to be there, I request that a secondary, smaller ceremony occur on the same day where we have a dual statue of Ricky Rubio and Jonny Flynn in honor of them taking both of them in back-to-back picks instead of Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Go Hornets.
I'm gonna go out there and do a video like I did with the Hornets. Well, I'm gonna go out there.
Jonny Flynn.
Just like I did the Hornets video, I would go out there and do a Steph Curry statue video in front of
It wasn't at the same time because
you go back-to-back point guards. Like, why?
And neither of them are Steph Curry.
Well, still got at the time, I mean, Steph was one of the hottest ones, but there's still a lot of question marks. And then Jonny Flynn, I mean, just had that amazing game against fucking UConn in Madison Square Garden. Had that amazing run in the Big East tournament. So that's, I mean, it's all about what you do.
But even in the best scenario, Rubio and him were never going to work together.
Yeah.
Even if they both had turned out great.
Yeah.
That was never going to work.
No, that was never going to work.
Honorary mention to maybe have a Jack Nicklaus one on the 18th.
I think he has one. I think he has one at his own course, but also in the PGA Hall of Fame. So it's hard for golf, right? Like, I mean, Tiger will probably have one. I don't know. You got to have one at every major. That would be something, though. Like well, because that's the problem. You can't do it at every major because it changes course.
Yeah.
Except Augusta. It's got to be Augusta.
Yeah, but you put it in Augusta. Yeah, that's what you would go.
That's the one he's won the most, 6 times. And same with Jack 5 times. So if you want to do it, that's where you would do it.
Like 2 of them, one in the 18th and one in
you can put it in the clubhouse at Augusta.
Just put it on the 18th hole, like right where the hole is, just like a backdrop.
Yeah, just make him the hole.
Don't worry about this. You lost already. You ain't chasing me.
It landed on his hat. Play it as it lies. Welcome to Rangertown, Alex Wenberg. I'm happy to have you. Seen what you've done over in Seattle. You've been kind of struggling as far as points go, but Seattle has been struggling in and of themselves, and you're not a points guy. You're a guy that can be a good two-way forward. You can get into the corners, get dirty, be able to move the puck, and I'm very happy about that. I know you've played wing and center, going back to your time as a young player in Columbus, and I'm excited to bring you to this New York Rangers team that needs a forward like you. So make sure you get to the Garden as soon as you can so you can get into that Ranger blue, take over Rangertown, and bring the Broadway Blue Shirts another Stanley Cup.
Fellas, we are 2 weeks away from the NCAA Tournament, the most exciting time in sports.
Sure.
And it brings up a good topic of conversation is how would you feel if the higher seeds in the first maybe couple rounds get to play a home game similar to the college football playoff in the first round? How would you go with that?
Now, let's clarify. Do we mean anybody who is 1 to 8 as the higher seed or just like the top 2? Like, what are we saying here?
I would assume probably you would have to. I would just say first round games. So right, like
I would say first round.
And here's my thought on this, right? Because the NCAA is already doing this, right? They're already doing this with a smaller tournament. You're just not. You're doing it with 32 teams in the NIT tournament.
Yeah,
and you're doing this automatically. Will it happen? No, it'll never happen because you know why? The money that they're generating at these arenas in different locations is astronomical, and they want to play they love having all these games at one time and everything like that. But I think it would be awesome because it gives your school, right? And it goes back to the neutral site thing that I was saying earlier this year. I hate the neutral site. Now all your non-conference games, if you're a big program, are pretty much neutral site games. Yeah. And that's bullshit. If you're going to play college basketball, you need to play on the road. You need to learn to play on the road. And going to, like, Syracuse went to South Dakota to play Oregon.
Yeah.
Made no sense for nothing. It was just a one-game playoff. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it because I would love to have Syracuse go to Oregon and Oregon come to Syracuse. Yeah. It's good for the school. It's good for the hype. Kentucky go to Kansas. Kansas go to Kentucky. Kentucky go to Michigan State. Vice versa. Like, I hate these neutral site where they put them in the Madison Square Garden. They don't put them at the school because the school and the team camaraderie around the school, like, we went to a small school where basketball was it, right? And the Division I team was it at St. Bonaventure. Yeah. And to go to the Riley Center was such a tough – it was so bad that Syracuse and Jim Boeheim would never go back there because the last time they went there, they got booed out of there. Wow. He got oranges thrown at him, and they lost. Because that's an environment you need to go to. Yeah. That's what I'm saying is, like, I hate these neutral site games because it just makes it so not college basketball really. It makes it more NBA, in my opinion. I think it just doesn't align with what college basketball, the college environment, the college students is what make college basketball fun. The college game day, they go to the schools all the time. So why not go play the first round of the NCAA tournament in your home school? That's what you're playing for, right? You're instead of just playing for seeding, you're actually playing for that 1 or 2. What does it matter if you're the 2, 3, or 4 now? You still have to travel. If you're the 1, 2, 3, or 4 and you get to play home, oh shit, man, that's a huge break. But if you're at a 16, you have to go all the way from, let's just say, Seattle's university or whatever out there, has to go all the way to Kentucky to play them in the first game. But man, that's going to be tough. Maybe we won't see as many Cinderella moments, but I think we'll get a better product, in my opinion. TreyDay?
Yeah, I would love to see that, especially because we keep expanding. We already had reports this week about them expanding again. So now 80. We're talking about 72, 76, 80, whatever the hell number we're going to land on. So for me, I would love to see that first round actually be a home game. I know it would take away from some of the Cinderellas, but it would be kind of dope to have to watch like some small school actually walk into Cameron and maybe upset Duke as like 16 versus a 1. Like, that would be a crazy thing to watch. Also, for the students on the campus, that would be a dope experience because then everybody would at least have that shot to get one NCAA game to go to. Because right now, part of what does take away from is unless you happen to get lucky and you are able maybe be on spring break or maybe you got that type of money, most of the time you're never going to get to see your team play in a tournament game until you're a base and alumni because you got class on Monday or Tuesday. So, yeah, you can't be out here on Thursday and then miss Thursday and Friday class or be out there over the weekend and then flying across country. So I think it would be dope for that experience to at least let the home fans get to enjoy that moment. Plus, we got to do something to make the stakes higher. Right now, we keep adding teams. The stakes aren't high. It makes the regular season mean more. It's going to make the selection show a bigger thing because now we're watching to see if we're home. Everything about that would just end up helping the long-term product of the NCAA when you start to look at basically just giving somebody a home crack. Like, we'd love to see that.
I mean, I'm thinking about Syracuse. They get a freaking high seed, and all of a sudden they put the court in the middle, and they pack the dome with 50,000 people. Yep. My freaking God. It's like you're playing in one of the big arenas. Mm-hmm. They have the biggest arena for basketball in the country. So I agree. And to your point on that, Adrian Wojnarowski, was the leader of this when Bonaventure went to the NCAA tournament, played LSU in the first round after they beat UCLA, put a fund together for all the alumni to come together and pay that. Well, you don't have to. You shouldn't have to have that, right? Like the kids, like I said, the college students are what make the college basketball experience what it is, right? So that's what I see out of that. Jamie, what do you think? Being a blue blood over there. Yeah. We'll get to you.
I mean, two blue bloods there to your right and left. This one's tough because
I really want to go in the suitcase with Trey. I mean, this is
I really feel like the NCAA does a really good job at setting this anybody can win sort of feel up with their tournament. And you need neutrality for that, neutrality. So without neutral sites, there's going to be the home court advantage. Like Purdue wouldn't have lost at home.
Right?
Like they wouldn't lose it at one at home. So you almost give them that instant, it ain't going to happen sort of sensation. And then the teams, make them feel defeated. It's like, well, at least we made it. But we have to travel to Kentucky, North Carolina, Gonzaga, wherever, and get our ass handed to us. So I see from that stance that it makes the fans at least believe they have a shot. And I think that's what the whole NCAA stands for, right? I mean, look at what song they play by, the end of every tournament, one shining moment, right? So me personally, of course, I would love to see an NCAA tournament in Rupp Arena. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better than that. I can't imagine the hype as it is already in a regular season game, far less to have the tournament there. Right. So I would love to see that personally. I just don't know if – I guess I'm a bit of a purist, so I like the product as it is already. I love knowing that the Cinderellas believe that they can. Yeah. I think that adds so much to the product. But if they did this, I think it would make the regular season that much better because these teams wouldn't be like, I don't care if I have a 2 or a 3. Like if it was only the 1 or 2 seeds and you're at home for the first 2 games, it's like we are playing our asses off in every conference game. We want to be that 1 or 2. I think we'd see a better product all around from every team, especially the ones that know that they're probably going to be viable for that 1 or 2.
Yeah, and you have 8 chances to be a high seed in each division, right? So it's not like it's 1 through 4. You have 8 chances. So if you are 1 through 8 in one side of the bracket, you are going to have a home game. And then 9 through 16, you're going to have to go on the road. But then, like, where do we? I guess I'll get to you, Mike, first. What do you think on this? I'll get to my question after.
Yeah. So since this topic came up for our discussion for tonight, I've been kind of mulling it over and going back and forth from one side of the fence to the other. It's an interesting kind of debate, and I agree, John, with what you said in the sense of regular season neutral site games. We need to stop all these weird ones. I get Maui Invitational and some of these, early non-conference tournaments, things like that, these round-robin matchups, quick matchups at those kinds of sites. But, yeah, the Dakota one was weird, and they've done some weird neutral site ones. We got to stop doing – we don't have to get so fixated on neutral site.
The Bahamas in the ballroom.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to stop getting fixated on that. And I agree with you guys in that it would make the regular season mean a lot more in the sense of seeding and playing for one of those 8 spots, to get a home game. But I do have to err on the side of Jay in the sense that I guess I am also kind of a purist in the sense of, and this goes with the expansion of the teams, leave the tournament alone. Just because for me, the more I thought about it, the more it just felt like moving even the first round to neutral sites or to home sites, for me, was taking away from what makes the tournament different from the rest of the season. What makes the spotlight of the tournament different from the spotlight that may be on the regular season. And I like the idea and the fact that we have only a handful of sites, so the spotlight of college basketball is on those sites as opposed to everywhere around the country. I'll say I wouldn't mind if they were to institute first round home sites. I wouldn't be upset, but if you gave me the keys to making that decision, I would keep it the way it is.
Yeah,
there's one other reason for me too, and part of it goes. We keep talking about how the gap between 1 and 16 just isn't what it used to be. So at some point, I just feel like it should be some type of reward for actually being a higher seed. And I guess what they try to say is, well, we try to take the number 1 overall, we try to put them closer to their home, but it's nothing like truly being at home because, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I know, like, the thing is, anybody can win. And what if a 16 beats a 1? That's great, but at the same time, damn, I just did all of this for
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, but look at the tournament with UConn. I mean, UConn last year rolled through, right? Like, would it have been better to see Purdue playing UConn or giving some competition? Because that Final Four in that national championship game was the most boring it's been in.
That's what always scares me.
FAU Final Four game was good, but the national championship game was boring as hell.
But that's happened a lot.
I always do, but like it was boring. What's that?
That happens a lot when we get the super far Cinderellas, though. I mean, I remember hearing Colin Cowherd point this out years ago, and I said, well, that actually makes sense because I remember the George Mason year where it was like, oh, this is great, and then they get to the Final Four and got fucking cleaned, and I remember being like, oh, I can't wait to watch this game, and I was like, well, I got more shit to do my Saturday night. This is over quickly. So it's
like the only Cinderella to really, really compete and then almost going to beat Duke in the national championship. They were a half-court shot away from doing it.
They were off the front rim to do it, right?
Yeah, right. That was a rare one.
Gordon Hayward should have made that.
It was the Hayward shot. Yeah, that was a rare year. But a lot of times...
Go ahead, my bad.
No, I'll say, a lot of the time, as much as we love Cinderella, and I do like to see some Cinderellas, I don't want to see, like, the most horrifying thing that could actually happen is if we had, like, 3 number 1s lose in the first round. Would actually
Plus,
everybody would laugh and joke until we got to play it out. And the Elite Eight, we sit there with 3 16 seeds and being like, I don't know about this. This ain't exciting. And that 1 number 1 is left over just washing teams.
To your point, Trey, I mean, and it goes back to honestly, my rant is basically saying that college basketball is the most competitive it's been in a long time. So, yes, there's a 16 seed, but like USF most likely is going to be probably 9, 10, 11 seed, right? So a team like that could go into Rupp Arena and upset Kentucky, could go into North Carolina and beat North Carolina. Wow. They could do that. And that's the thing with college basketball. If you can't get up for those games, and I get it's playing on the road, but I've heard a lot of athletes say they love that environment. They love being on the road. They love being the underdog and everything like that. So I don't think it matters where you place the team, right? It's just that team's going to show up. So, I mean, I guess that goes back to both sides, right? But when I'm looking at the Cinderellas, it's going to happen more often than not. We've seen Kentucky get knocked off this year. We've seen North Carolina get knocked off at home. We've seen Kansas get knocked off more than I've seen in the last 10 years at home.
Yep.
And not just knocked off, routed at home.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen there, right? So it can happen more now because the college basketball landscape is very competitive with the transfer portal. And our favorite time of the night, which is Stump the Squad, our new championship series is on. TreyDay is leading 1-2-0, and Grandpa Jay is our first Stump the Squad champion. Yep. Congratulations. And, we forgot to get you your crown.
That's all right, guys.
So let's get it going for Stump the Squad. Take it away, Jay.
Yes, sir. Boys and girls, ghouls and goblins, you know what it is. It's time for Stump the Squad, our favorite show, our favorite portion of the show, I should say. And if you've been playing along with us, you already know the rules. We know everything in sports. We just try and make you guys feel good about yourself. So if you want to play along with us, give yourself 2 points when you get it right. Be honest and give yourself -2 if you get it wrong. Person with the most points at the end gets the dub of the week. In new fashion here. How about we start every week here with this portion with the defender from the week before, defending champ from the week before. So TreyDay, how about you take it away?
Take it away, TreyDay.
Okay, NFL Combine just happened. Everybody's favorite part. Yep, I see how it is.
Damn, bro.
I want you to get out the suitcase. So you can get out the suitcase.
Go ahead, bro.
NFL Combine just happened. Everybody always loves to talk about the 40-yard dash. It's always everybody's darling. But you know what nobody ever talks about? What punter in the 40-yard dash? So, 2019, Mitch Wisnowski dropped the fastest time for a punter at a combine in the 40. What was Mitch's time? A 4.57, 4.63, 4.68, or 4.82?
4.57.
John's going 4.57.
Give me the 2 6 options. 6 what and 6 what?
I'll read them all again. 4.57, 4.63, 4.68, 4.82.
4.68.
Okay, so we have a 4.57 from John, a 4.68 from Jamie.
4.63.
And Mike's going to go 4.63.
Yeah.
So today, I have successfully stumped John and Jamie.
Yes.
He ran a 4.63. Now, how relevant is that for him? Who the fuck knows? Because when does he have to run a 4.63 in a game? I don't know.
Never know. You never know on the fake punts. Where he takes off. Think about those fake punts where you run down the field, no one's around you. You need to be able to run that 4.63 done. At that point, you're probably not.
If that punter would have ran a 4.63 when Sean Taylor was in the Pro Bowl, maybe he would have got his fucking block knocked off.
That's true. All right, who you want next?
Let's go with. Let's see who. I'm not letting Jamie get hot this year. Jamie, let's go.
He chose this stooge. All right, gentlemen. So I'm going to the NBA.
Jamie is not hot at all. He's like minus 50 for the last 4 episodes. Sorry, Jay.
I took like 5 episodes off in a row. You know. All right. So which one of these NBA champions had the most losses in the regular season? Was it A, the Washington Bullets, the 1978 Washington Bullets, B, the 1969 Boston Celtics, C, the 1995 Houston Rockets, or D, the 1977 Portland Trail Blazers?
Which one? They were NBA champions?
All of these teams were NBA champions.
The Trailblazers.
Which one of them had the most losses in the regular season?
Trailblazers.
John's going with D, the 77 Trailblazers.
I want to say that because I feel like the Bill Walton documentary really got to me.
I was thinking Trailblazers already, so I'm going to stay with my gut.
Trey says Trailblazers.
We got 2 for D.
You'd think by history that it wouldn't be. I'm going to go with that Celtics team.
Going with the 69 Celtics. I might have gone with that one too, but tonight I have successfully stumped the squad. Your answer is the Washington Bullets, who in 1978 had 38 losses, but still won the NBA championship.
Okay. Good for them.
Where you went next?
You next.
All right. So, since we've been on the baseball trip, I'm going to go baseball question. And we did a Jersey game last week, and I'm going to go Jersey numbers. So, Sandy Koufax and Elson Howard won the MVP wearing number 32. In what year? 1963, 1960, 1961, 1964.
The 2 people who won were?
Elston Howard and Sandy Koufax. Wearing number 32. They were both wearing 32 when they won it.
Let's go 63.
Trace is 63. Mike?
60, 61, 63, 64. That's the
Yep.
options?
What was Elston's MVP?
Jamie's trying to remember that picture he took.
I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go 63.
63 for Mike.
Jamie's trying to remember that picture he took that time.
Yeah.
He went to the game.
He was at the game. He was at the awards.
He was at the game.
It's not 60.
Yeah, he's trying to remember what year that was. First Polaroid ever.
63.
All righty. So today I have successfully stumped no one, fellas. Congratulations. All of you got it right. So
Knew it wasn't 60.
yeah, you stopped your streak, buddy.
You guys, I'm in the game.
So now the scores are now me at -4. I'm done. I'm out. Jamie at 0, Mike at 2, and Trey at 0. So I'm done. Mike, go ahead with your question.
Well, Trey, we got to get it right.
Oh, I have one fact on that, by the way. Pull it up here real quick. So in that year, also, the most valuable player in the football in the NFL was Jim Brown, who wore number 32.
32.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So Trey got us with football. Jamie got us with basketball. John got us with baseball. Don't worry, guys. I'll cover it. I got us hockey.
Of course he did.
Yes. No, I know I got this.
Going to that Rookie of the Year talk, which was so heated. Who is the oldest NHL player in history to be named Rookie of the Year?
Oh.
Is it
We
A?
can start that battle again.
Yep. And should they have qualified for no? Is it A. Tony Esposito, B. Kent Douglas,
Considered.
C. Jim McFadden, or D. Sergei Makarov?
Who was B?
B was Kent Douglas.
I'm going Sergei.
I'm going to say Esposito. Sounds like he
Sergei
was.
is my answer.
One more time.
A. Tony Esposito, B. Kent Douglas, C. Jim McFadden, D. Sergei Makarov.
You know what? I'm going to follow Trey. Sergey sounds like the guy. And if we got it wrong, then Mike, congratulations.
All right. So we got 2 Makarovs and an Esposito. This week I have successfully stumped John.
Oh, we got
It
3
is
minutes.
Sergei Makarov.
Yes.
He was 31 years old in
He
1990.
could not be eligible for that award.
Do you want to know what my logic was? In my mind, I heard the name. I said, sounds Russian. Probably didn't get over here until late.
Exactly.
So,
That is exactly what I
I was like, he came over at like 27.
Yeah, I was like, this guy probably had a whole career before he got here. And then that seems to be what happened.
But he had played professionally, so he shouldn't be eligible.
While John does extensive research on the tiebreaker, we'd like to clue you guys in. This is the first time we've had a 3-way tiebreaker.
No, it's not. We did it last week.
3-way tiebreakers? We had a 3-way
No, we had
tiebreaker.
3-way time before.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was last week?
All right, I got it. Ready?
This
At least a couple
makes
weeks.
We did last week.
in person.
No, we did.
It was 3-way last week.
It was or a week, 2 weeks ago. We had 3-way.
Or 2 weeks ago. We
Remember, I
definitely
won that, and then I lost it in lost in triple
Yeah.
overtime.
Yeah.
All right, so Stan Musial, St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Famer, retired in 1963. How many hits did he have? Why did I do big numbers? Like, what the fuck? I could have just went 1 through fucking 10. I got to do math and shit.
1 through 10.
It's going to take me an hour. My stats teacher's going to watch this and be like, what the hell's wrong?
Yeah.
How did I pass him?
How many career hits did he have?
Yes.
Oh, you said career hits.
Career hits.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Because I'm thinking 1963.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I was literally way off.
bad.
I'm trying,
I would
in
have
my
been
head, I'm trying to think of
lost
like
by you
good
guys are saying like 120.
Yeah, because I'm literally guessing good hitting
Career,
seasons.
I'm sorry.
through.
He retired in
Good
1963. Well, how many career hits did he have total?
Okay, because I was literally about to give a season perfect.
You have 10 seconds to answer.
3,478.
Okay. Jamie?
I'm going 3-2-1-3.
You have 2 seconds.
2,861.
All right. So, this week's Stump the Squad winner and finally getting on the scoreboard is Mike. With the answer is 3,630 hits he had career.
Yeah.
And Mike is Stump the Squad episode 101 winner. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Getting back on your – springtime must be your thing.
No,
like
see, this is when I'm going
East fall wants
because y'all keep trying to do baseball questions, probably keep them in.
Right. We start doing baseball questions. He's like –
and that's why it won't be a single baseball
question. That's our key. Get away from hockey and baseball. Just stop doing that. Just do boxing and like all those sports. Yep. So the scoreboard now reads TreyDay at 1, Mike at 1, Grandpa and Jay at Goose Egg. So I won't get my first win probably till the 22nd episode or something like that. Probably. Could we have like an overtime point streak or something like that?
Like an OT loss?
Yeah, like can I get like a half a point, a quarter of a point, something? Jesus. But fellas, it was great being with you guys today. Looking forward to it. TreyDay.
Trey, get back in the suitcase.
Great episode, fellas. It's been a wild week for Mike and I, and we are continuing our spring training tour. And next year, we are going, all 4 of us, to Arizona for a week. So, Arizona Cactus League, look out for us. And that'll be nice because it'll be so much less traveling.
Oh, my God.
And more heat, which is great. So, any final thoughts heading into the weekend?
Let's go to Liverpool. We got Man City. We got a whole lot of places on the table. If it's a draw, then unfortunately, Arsenal is going to leapfrog both of those teams. We don't want that to happen. Let's go Liverpool.
Hey, North Carolina. Beat Duke, please. Earn that 1 seed in the ACC tournament, please. But more than that, just beat Duke, please.
I also like to shout out the Buffalo Bills. Thank you for taking Miss Trubisky off of my Steelers' hands.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate you all for that.
They cut everyone on the roster except, and then they're like, who do I got to sign? Mitch Trubisky.
Yep.
Mitch.
Top priority.
Yeah, so, well, fellas, we'll see you next week. We'll see everyone next week for episode 102. Looking forward to it. We all won't be together, teardrop, but make sure you guys are tuning into our socials at Cinco Squad Pod 05. Mike and I are going to be posting all weekend. We've been posting all weekend. And then next week, we're going to be doing a lot of content on the conference championship week. It is here, and this is where it gets spicy. A little spicy in college basketball, brothers. So tune into our socials. We'll see you guys here next week. Cinco Squad out.